Etiefo mamindam nyina mase emfambra ye channel yiso. Aha nimde news. Update bia na ye de bremu ewo kasa fidie yiso. Insem bebre na dane de nyina den ekoso ebusuafo. Message notification button no obetene ne on. Na wa subscribe. Se de bibia any update bia on sabeka na wa hwe. Na bibia aye kama. Insem bebre ekoso. Ebra nche omangi bre ne nko insem de wo ho no.
Judiciary dealing no. So did die no buo emano. Supreme Court entertaining activity any BBI they undermining the authority and the BBI so they expose to public ridicule effect because at the end of the day the Supreme Court no that is any your last hope. Anytime you coup we normally do away coup makers they can do away with the executive. You talk about bua we so don't shut down parliament. In fact almost dissolve parliament but at the back coup makers sustaining or the most judiciary since time memorial could be a new war could make a say oh may the judiciary not out to form down because that institution one a political meaning only politics only public servants and if you so na because only could be almost yambra na na if you so practicing law for so many years. I had been justice for so many years. And so, they are few. And judges and lawyers, they are not many. And you know, only the justice in order to ensure, say, we will resolve disputes in our country. And you know, judiciary was special will be a player. And say, you be. They undermine the authority of the judiciary. Now, before man pese Ghana for enkai kakra producer but just Atuguba bra election petition ne koso the way akakre bi officer here dealt with the people
and the previous warnings of this court concerning contemptuous comments, utterances and attitudes towards this apex court of Ghana issued just on the 24th day of June 2013. He has apologized and withdrawn the same before this court and has further undertaken to repeat the retraction by 6 p.m. today. We have also considered with admiration the pleas put in on his behalf, both in chambers and in open court by lead counsel for the parties on both sides of this case. We have, however, noted with great concern the steady decline of respect for the authority of the judiciary, the third arm of government of this country, over the past years. It appears that the warnings of this court, particularly that of the 24th day of June 2013, have not been taken seriously. It is quite apparent that the pompous show of private power in the pursuit of the right to engage in political organizations and activity by which the passions of the humble members of society are stirred up on deliberately false political propaganda is a recipe for chaos and conflict in this country. We have seen the Kenyan president in this context, and much as we are concerned not to exercise our undoubted powers as a court of law with iron fist, we cannot allow the emergence of over 90 subjects in this country, as we said on the 24th day of June 2013. However, in order to show that we mean well for this country with regard to the exercise of our awesome powers, we have decided to stop short of invoking our powers of contempt, and we invoke in the alternative our power to control the attendance of our proceedings as a public court by members of the public. We take judicial notice of the fact that Mr. Samuel Awuku has been attending the proceedings of this court in this ongoing case. We think that the exclusion of Mr. Samuel Awuku from attending the proceedings of this court for the rest of the duration of this case should suffice for a start in this direction. That is our delivery.
Thank you.
Now, we've given you full opportunity to demonstrate how mighty you are, and we hope you've done so. Do you now realize your real size in this country?
Yes, my lord.
Good. You are discharged.
Thank you, my lord.
This William Atuguba. Yes, you see the way Justice Atuguba presiding over the Supreme Court, the judiciary, or dealing with Samia Uku and MPP elements. Omo committee contempt. Omo feni di no bo ama Supreme Court judges no. Atuguba do free from the reading of the judgment no. The book free say politicians mo mwade na mo fu say o man e mo dia mo pese mo di respect no bo ma judiciary no. Enti no, in fact, or send a signal, and baby, I'm about to say John Deno, or the thing that term reduce to the level. A send a signal. Na Ghana nya ndiye koso. Na ye nya edi ni die no bu e ma judiciary no. Now what is happening today? The same judiciary. Headed by the Chief Justice Tokunu, at that case so involving a federal case and the Attorney General and the Speaker of Parliament. Now the same Supreme Court judges, 5, a rule say almost jurisdiction have been properly be invoked, meaning case na ya file woman ye file woman ni mo nya copies almost share the proceedings, almost share documents no, almost share the process no, almost come to a conclusion. 5-0 say 1 the applicant no are invoking jurisdiction in terms of interpretation of the constitution, and the 2 no almost facts and the evidence before almost say just when I say Speaker of Parliament is trying to breach the constitution. In fact, we're breaching the constitution because the question of interpretation ama what taking decision here was led to the sacking of 4 MPs. And you know, based on that, no, to me say best topple the breach no under Article 1 and 2 and the Article 130 of our constitution. 5 Supreme Court judges like Justice Atuguba over 2 of them no retire. Now, Justice Atuguba after retirement, not the Supreme Court have spoken, and people the same way Justice Atuguba can say na Ghana for Mumbu Court no, among for starting say omudidi Supreme Court for the judges na them. People as amafo kan kwasi asem ebi ni say atuk ewe say mama yariga mama yariga MP ono over fraud cases bebre wo court can say Supreme Court judges they are not knowledgeable. If I say me hukumu sami gentimu the kind of things that attack these Supreme Court judges and the Supreme Court no undergo because of a ruling and an order. With in the midst of all this, no, Justice Atuguba didn't see the need. Say people are misbehaving. Among for undermining the authority of the Supreme Court, he didn't see. Said up to they are insulting and engaging in contentious behavior. And now we retire. And in retirement, no, Justice Atuguba granted an interview as a judge. Know what I know? Say, who a judge? You don't speak to the public. You must hold that position in high esteem. I am misconduct. Say a judge grants interviews. Judge, I share your opinion. And can a former Supreme Court judge about retirement. Instead of rallying behind your colleagues and these colleagues have come under serious political attack. They are being insulted, and the kind of language being used against Justice Tokunu and the 4 eminent Supreme Court judges, jurists. Justice Atuguba sit down, grant interview NDC Aparachi Station, TV3, and Yente that there's Atuguba Kanye. Patobo, then
in what over this matter is wrong. They don't have original jurisdiction. You see, original jurisdiction means invoking the court at first instance. That's original. But they have referred jurisdiction in the sense that from even this matter, because if a constitutional provision comes up which is not plain and straightforward, requiring interpretation, Article 130, which gives interpretative power and the enforcement power to the exclusive to the Supreme Court, says that if a question relating to those issues arises in the court lower than the Supreme Court, the lower court shall stay the proceedings and refer the matter to the Supreme Court for determination, and then shall dispose of the matter before them in accordance with the interpretation. Once Article 99 has entrusted vacation of this matter to the High Court, the Supreme Court to say you don't just go straight at first instance to invoke it in a matter like this, but it has referred jurisdiction if an issue of interpretation related to the Constitution arises.
You see, my problem with just Atuguba, a judge, what call retirements. You have colleagues, judges who are not on retirement. Your junior sister, Jestokunu, has started with other 4 eminent Supreme Court judges like you. And at your time, I was sitting on the legislative petition, Justice Atuguba told the whole people of Ghana, say, hey, court kasa, young Kesebi. And now be new point say, obey it to twasem, edidi atem. And he said, John, and it's a new wuku, hope said Doyemo, and Atubiga, and others are misbehaving, they were dragged to the Supreme Court and disciplined. A people cried FEC jail term. Now here comes the same just Atuguba on no acco retirement. Now case that was filed, no. He is not part of the panel members. In fact, the process will be answered, Judge Atuguba does not have any of the court processes. The application, any exhibit that was filed at the Supreme Court, was brought to the notice of the current Chief Justice and the 4 Supreme Court judges who sat on the matter. They had the jurisdiction to hear the matter, and they were seized with all the facts and the information. Excuse me. There's a Atuguba over retirement now comes openly to attack the colleagues, judges. The court judges say, 1, they are wrong because they don't have original jurisdiction and their jurisdiction has not been properly revoked. Identity issue knows about vacation of MPs, and they are wrong. Jesus Christ. My first problem with Justice Atuguba is that you are on retirement. You file a case before you. Your sisters and your brothers have seized with the facts. Application, all the evidence were before them. They have the law. No more apply the law, and they are looking it from the angle, say there is a rita munima alleged and Article 2 say obi violated the constitution by trying to take away Supreme Court for to me to interpret, and then they realize that yes, speaker no have violated the constitution by interpreting the constitution and applying it in a way alleged to say was sacking members of parliament. And your brothers and sisters knew. Then a Supreme Court judge grants interview to stationer led by Captain Smart and people knowing that TV3 a pro MDC station. Atuguba grant interview, and with all the insults and attacking the Supreme Court judges, went and support it, fuel it, say, oh, the Supreme Court, you're wrong. Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, Sister Atuguba, have you read the statement of case of the Attorney General? Have you read the submission of the Attorney General? Say the Supreme Court, we are wrong. Jesus Christ. A senior jurist on retirement. And Sister Atuguba, you are not only the only jurist on retirement. We have a lot of the jurists, those who are ahead of you. So for Yakufumu, you know, the Taban who retired before you. And then we have Sophia, Georgina Wood, and other eminent Supreme Court judges. They have retired. They are your seniors. But what I know, say judges no more kasau. What do pen it through? And if also judge, we a judge, you must not be seen openly criticizing and attacking your colleagues. Where the public no more attacking, don't know the law. The members of parliament like Sir Joe, people like Jampomo or your political science. There are people like Ayarigamu, and then we have a lot of people like Omuni law. We're attacking the Supreme Court because Omuni law say. Then you have a Supreme Court former judge saying that they are wrong. And at the end of the day, no church you were confused because we have a lot of authorities cited to show say the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court were properly invoked. There are a lot of criminal cases. If the Chief Justice, Atuguba have taken his time to read the statement of case of the Attorney General, Obehu say was citing more than 16 to 17 legal authorities to support, say the Supreme Court had jurisdiction over the matter. Meaning, Supreme Court, it will to me, so reinterpret. Na saa to me the man on na obi atra parliament interpret no say that be uni saa to me na amwa bone ne sen na amanfo didi atema na whole Supreme Court judge wo akọ retirement wo brace no we say hey amanfo mwade and we can't tag the judiciary, and the way I would deal with Sir John and Samuel Kumuno hopes are doing at that time because that time now they to me you dealt with them, and not yet what call retirement your own colleagues at the bench. Colleagues are who retire a two-case night down with him, knowing how a judiciary no NDC form prejudicial and assem on the track record that ya killing judges. Maurice time they killed sitting judges. Matters day, sir. And then we know the attitude of NDC. They have never liked the judiciary. Sasu, see, when they come to power now, they will deal with political judges. When you come to, most of the comment, and then there's so many ways of killing the cat. What do I say? And there's President Mama, the way of attacking the judiciary, and the way NDC don't have respect for the judiciary, then a senior jurist like you in retirement, you join these miscreants, you join these people who have no dignity, and you allow them, supported them to attack the Chief Justice and the Supreme Court by saying that they are wrong. Jesus Christ. Just that, Atuguba, I'm so much disappointed in you. You have really undermined the authority of the Supreme Court by what you have said. If you also know what exposing the Supreme Court judges to public ridicule, hatred, and contempt, you need to be cited for contempt. One guy said, Atuguba, I say I dragged you before the same Supreme Court judge. It to be dealt with. Because Sebi, what the outcry said they are wrong, no. You yourself know you're wrong. Because you yourself know. Case now you know only copy. At the time they were granting you an interview, no, you don't have access to the processes of the court. And also on which authority now they make no pronouncements, no. Just because you feel so strongly, say a person support to one political party, and you want to make sure say this current Chief Justice and the Supreme Court judges, you know, are dealt with. But do you know something? The person is sending signal to all well-meaning Ghanaians.